Everyone. I was a seafood processor at Peter Pan Seafoods in Alaska. There's a lot that happened when I was working there. Just the overall conditions I think people ought to know about. It was pretty appalling. I went up there, like the lady who first talked to me about the job, I think her name was Julia. One of the HR ladies, who first had emailed or contacted me about it, she didn't say it was that bad. And then the guy, Mark, who I also talked to, one of the interview guys, this Filipino dude, he didn't describe it as being all that bad. By the way, the pictures that you're seeing on my phone, this is all pictures and footage that was taken. As you can see, the dates are from July, mid-July 2022, late June, whatever. That's the season that I was working. It is now, let's go ahead and just show you some of the pictures. It is now January of 2023. I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of procrastinated this. I was meaning to do this a while back, make this whole video and show the footage, whatever. I'm still learning the whole YouTube process, whatever. But anyway, I'm getting around to doing it now. It's now January the next year. It's time to do this. But look, this is some of the footage that was inside of the plant. This is black mold that was in the bathroom. Well, let me first show you the videos. I took the video footage that was from in there. By the way, we have a lot to talk about, all these other other stuff that's in here. You'll see. But yeah, let's just look at the mold first of all. This is part of the working conditions, and me talking in the video. This is from when it was filmed.
In one of the restrooms, and there's other ones that I haven't even seen here at the Peter Pan plant in Dillingham, Alaska. Black mold everywhere. The employees are furious. We want justice. Billions of dollars are being made off of our hard labor every single season, and they can't upgrade the facilities to make this a safe area for us to live and work at. We want justice. This is the shower.
All right, that was one video. Here's another one.
This is another one of the showers. Yeah. You guys seriously can't upgrade your facilities so we're not breathing that in? I think we're about due for a lawsuit here, people. What do you think? What do you think OSHA's got to say about black mold everywhere? This is another
okay, that was another
showers.
one. Here's whatever. Some other worker who
Say
was...
Yeah, the black mold, dude. It's been getting everyone sick. If there was...
When I got here, fucking on the second day, I went and I was like, holy shit. And then
if there was a class action lawsuit, would you be involved? Would you jump on board?
Absolutely, bro. Fucking nuts, super fuck out of this.
Okay, because I'm gonna be showing this. Yeah, dude. What is it? What's your first name? Because this will be getting sent to OSHA. This is getting sent to OSHA. What's your name, bro? So you would get involved in a class action lawsuit.
100% get a class action lawsuit.
Awesome.
Hell yeah, dude, this is just a random, just one guy who happened to be in the bathroom when I was filming. All the workers feel this way. It wasn't just him. It was just he happened to be in there at the time. Okay, so yeah, these are the pictures that I took, the black mold. This is just, okay, so now I told the lady Julia, the HR lady, this Puerto Rican lady, when I saw the mold, I told her about it. What did they do? A day or two later, I come back and they painted over it. That's paint that you're looking at. Paint. Okay, that does not fix mold, you idiots. You know what I'm saying? That's such a slap in the face to the workers. It's as if they're saying, oh yeah, shut up and get back to work. Who cares that you're breathing in mold? We're making billions of dollars off of your hard labor, 16 hours a day, in the freezing cold, on your feet the entire time, busting your butt, and you're gonna breathe in mold. Billions of dollars, we're paying you whatever, I made a few thousand in a month, so that is, the plus side. If you really, really, really need money in a relatively short amount of time, there's more, they're painting over it. Oh, now, those are my hands. They were swollen, kind of sprained up from the hard work that I was doing. I was doing it was called basket washing. You're essentially taking they're not baskets, they're big metal, tray looking things, that are stacked on top of each other, one on top of another on this big metal, freezer cart, big heavy metal freezer cart. They get pushed out very fast, one at a time. You got to like really fast move those like metal baskets onto a conveyor belt. The mechanics there were so incompetent and were so cheap. The company was so cheap, they didn't want to fix the conveyor belt. So as the basket washer, I had to like physically push the baskets like up the conveyor belt. So it became really hard work. I mean, it's hard physical work. Yeah, you can see the swelling in my hands. That was after I iced it down. I used like, what's it called? The Icy Hot, a lot of ibuprofen, ice it down, just, you know, then I started using the wrist sprain guard, whatever things. But yeah, I mean, they were still pretty sprained. That was work-related injury. Yeah, I mean, like, they don't give a shit. You know, like that lady Julia, she was such a B-word to everyone, that condescending attitude. They don't have anything for us. They didn't have anything for us in that office. They didn't even supply ibuprofen, nothing. No, like emergency, no Icy Hot. The other seafood processing plants that I've heard about, I hear that a lot of them have a nurse that's like on site on the plant with you, and she has, you know, like antibiotics if you need it. She has, you know, Icy Hot and all that, you know, emergency and whatnot. She has medications because people get sick doing this. They get injured. This is not by any means, we have a lot more to talk about. This is just like one, you know, thing that was going on. Yeah, okay, yeah, the lady, she doesn't care. They have nothing for you, aside from the money, you know, so all I'm saying is that you're on your own. Look, yeah, you're probably gonna get injured. A lot of people have, and I've got worse pictures than this coming up. So yeah, you saw the black mold, you saw the sorry, I just said the F word. I'm trying to watch my language. Okay, so this was, that area that's boarded up, okay, that used to be a hole where that piece of wood is, okay, that was a hole, okay, get this, and I didn't get the footage, the guy said that he, like, deleted it or whatever, but, okay, there was a guy, he fell through that hole, okay, that was, you know, where that piece of wood is, right there, you know, he fell, like, his leg had fallen through, not his whole body, but his leg, like, it was so dark, like, really darkly lit, at, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, you know, we were on break. It was like a little 20-minute break you get. And during that 20-minute break, he had, I mean, it was so dark he couldn't see where he was going, and his leg had, like, fallen through that hole, okay? That wood, that, like, sharp wood that was, like, jutting out in that hole had cut open the inside of his leg. I'll show you. Oh, wait, that's more we're about to look at here in a second, but okay, this area, you can see it right there. That's where he was walking. Let me zoom in for you right there. There's that area. He was walking and, like, fell through, cut open his leg. An ambulance had to come. They came out here in the middle of the night. I was getting off my break, and you can see the area right there where people clock in. Right there. Little lady right there. Co-worker. Yeah, so, like, you know, I was getting off break and I saw an ambulance. I was like, holy crap, this guy's getting, like, loaded onto the ambulance, like, in a stretcher. And I was like, holy crap, you know, like, really serious workplace injury. What did they do? They put a board over it, which is extreme negligence. It should have been fixed a long time ago. Yeah, they wait till after somebody gets seriously injured and gets sent to the hospital, then you finally do something about it. You morons. But anyway, what did they do? This was, like, common practice for them, okay? They came to the guy who got injured, whose leg went through the hole. He got sent to the hospital. After he came back, okay, they made him send, or I think it was when he was on the stretcher, as he was being loaded into the ambulance, Julia, or one of the HR ladies, had come out to him with a waiver saying that his injury was personal and not work-related. I'm gonna say that again. They made him sign a piece of paper that said that him falling through that hole, his leg going through there and getting cut open in the wood in this hole here, was a personal injury, not a work-related injury. Are you kidding me? Because they didn't want to pay his workers' compensation. This is a true story. This is the Dillingham, Alaska plant for Peter Pan Seafoods, by the way. I know that they have a plant in Valdez, King Cove, and Dillingham. Okay, this is the Dillingham plant. You can see there's the ATV the manager Dave always rides around on. If you go to Dillingham, you'll probably see Dave. He was the plant manager over there. Yeah, okay, so that was another thing that we have to talk about. Yeah, so you saw the mold, you saw the hole that guy went through, and all the workers were outraged because everyone was talking about it. Like, dude, did you see that guy that got loaded onto the stretcher? Yeah, dude, like, you incompetent, ugh, it just made me so mad. I was infuriated, you know, and he eventually called OSHA. I don't think they even did anything about it. I was just, ugh, I was so mad. Okay, now this was my roommate, Ruben. He was this Puerto Rican guy. They hire, like, foreigners in general. This year, in particular, in 2022, it was Puerto Ricans. I've heard in the past it was, like, Ukrainians, Bolivians. There's, like, this whole wall, like, in another picture. You can kind of see it, like, painted on there. Back here on this wall, it's right there. You can kind of see it, like, painted up there, like, all these different, like, nationalities, that wall where they're clocking in at. I mean, you can't really see the writing, but there it is. There are, like, all the nationalities, you know, Ukraine, Bolivia, in this case, Puerto Rico, that have all worked there. It's like the wall of foreigners that don't complain about the horrid conditions you're putting them in. But in any case, yeah, this guy was Puerto Rican. As this particular year at Dillingham, it was like literally 90% Puerto Rican workers working there, and they played Bad Bunny constantly on the speakers. So I pretty much know all the Bad Bunny songs because they're all Puerto Ricans working there. And anyway, yeah, so most of them don't even speak English. Yeah, this guy did. He was cool though, Ruben. I forgot how he got that injury. Like, he explained it to me. It was really, really nasty. That's his other leg there. Yeah, like the line they had him working in somewhere or other happened to him. But yeah, but the thing is, like, they don't send him to the hospital, like, unless he would sign that paper, and he didn't want to do it, you know? So, like, that's just, like, normal for them, just like the guy in the stretcher, you know? Like, oh, and I had another roommate. He got sent to the ER because, like I said, people get sick there. I mean, and they know this. They know this. I mean, literally just about every single person, like more than 90% of the workers, had gotten sick during the month or so that I was there. From, it was like mid-June to like mid-July, something like that I was working. Yeah, like literally 90% of the workers had gotten sick, some of them to the point of having to go to the ER, including one of my roommates at the time. I forget his name, this Marine dude. He was a Marine, and he got sent to the ER. He was so sick and hoarse, like he could barely talk. His voice was so hoarse, being in the freezing cold the whole time, breathing in that cold air. Yeah, like, it's horrible on your lungs. Let me see. Yeah, that was, did I already show you that? That was, one of my other roommates, co-worker, the hole that he fell through. Okay, so you got to see that. Oh, let me tell you something else. There was this one guy, he was, his job was, another Puerto Rican dude, his job was to move those freezer carts that I had to, you know, take the trays from and push them up that, you know, conveyor belt, the basket washer. He's the one who takes the metal carts and he pushes them over to me, which means that he's going into the freezer. The freezer at this plant, listen to this, gets down to -70 degrees. I'll say that again, the freezer at the plant, probably the other Peter Pan plants too, probably the other seafood processing in general, I don't know, this is my first year doing it, but for him, yeah, no, like literally, that freezer gets down to -70 degrees, and he's going in and out of that thing all day long, constantly taking these big metal freezer carts, you know, in and out of the freezer and pushing them over to me, and then I take the baskets and, you know, push them onto the conveyor belt. Anyway, this guy, okay, had blood coming out of his eyes and his nose. Okay, he was bleeding from his eyes and the nose, his nose, okay, from exposure to the ammonia that was in the freezers, okay? Yeah, and he's getting paid the same as us. They wouldn't send him to the hospital or nothing. He was like, yeah, blood coming out of your eyes, hello? Like, that's insane. Okay, so yeah, you saw the mold. Let me tell you about the break room. Okay, the break so-called room, it wasn't a room, it was actually an outdoor. And once again, this infuriates me so much because this company makes billions of dollars, billions every single season off of our hard labor. They couldn't give us an indoor break area with, you know, heating. for Christ's sake, I mean, seriously, like an indoor heated break room would be so nice. No, instead we had to walk through the rain a lot of times in the freezing cold to the so-called break area, which was an outdoor place with like these picnic tables. I don't have a picture of it on my phone, but it was like these picnic tables. They serve you this cafeteria slop that you're eating. There's like a tarp roof over the whole thing that leaked constantly. Most of the areas that you could sit at in the picnic table area all had, you know, it's like leaking water onto you while you're trying to eat your food. It's like leaking onto your food, into your drink. And meanwhile, they treat you like crap, okay? There was this, one of the managers, Rob, he was one of the plant managers there at the time. He will literally stand over you while you're sitting there eating your cafeteria slop food, yelling at you, "C shift, let's go, 10 minutes, let's go. 10 more minutes. Can I sit here for 10 minutes and eat my food without you yelling at me?" Literally, him and those dickhead security guards, okay, those Puerto Rican security guards that were there, they were also just as like mean and condescending like to everyone, you know, and like, dude, like, you can't hire better security people who give a crap about our well-being, don't treat us like garbage, you know, like, seriously, it's just, it feels like degrading being there. It did. It was kind of like, I mean, I described it as like boot camp, sort of like, to the head manager, Dave, and he jokingly said, and I was able to talk to him because of the hard work that I would do as the basket washer. I sort of like had won over the respect, I guess, of the plant. Most of the areas that you work in, like the slime line, what else, like the rackers or whatever, you work in groups. So, or like the fillet line, you're standing there in a whole group of people, assembly line style, a lot of it is. So like, but my position in particular as the basket washer, like, people would, I'm like the only guy there that was like in the corridor, and like people would notice me. So I went over, like, you know, like people would notice like how hard I was working. I'm not really in like a group of people. I was just myself, being the one guy that was there, who was standing there the entire time, 16 hours a day on my feet, doing that hard boom, 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 moving those baskets onto the conveyor belt. Hard work, you know. I think it paid like 20 something an hour. I made roughly $2,000 a week, something like that. I don't remember the exact numbers, but anyway, let me see, what else do I need to talk about? Okay, there was that Puerto Rican dude with the blood coming out of his eyes and the nose in the freezers at negative 70 degrees. Oh yeah, slime line. Yeah, people are getting, like, you know, fish guts splashed up into their face all day long, you know, like the slime line is when you've got thousands of fish coming down the line at a time, okay? And you've got people who have to, like, take the fish and gut them, okay? It's already been beheaded, then it comes down the line, the beheaded fish. You have to grab him really, really fast and grab it by the tail. You got, like, this scraper thing. You got to scrape the blood and the guts out of it. Scrape the blood and the guts out of it real fast. Boom, push it down the line, grab another one. Boom, push it down the line, grab another one. Boom, push it down the line. 16 hours a day, baby. You're standing in fish guts. Fish guts, like, you're standing in it, and blood and guts and shit, which, I mean, on the one hand is kind of hard to avoid, I guess, but the thing is that in slime line, you're not given, like, protective eye gear, so you got, like, blood and guts coming up in your face and shit. I had it too in a different department that I was working at before I did the basket washing. Okay, now let me tell you something else about how much or how little the HR department and the management in general cares about you as a worker at Peter Pan Seafoods, okay? One of my roommates, I don't know if he was just delirious from the hard work, 16 hours a day, getting very little sleep. He's sick as a dog the entire time from the intense working conditions. I don't know. Or maybe he was just, you know, a bastard in general. I don't know, but anyway, he was that Marine guy that I had talked about a second ago. I said, like, he had gotten so sick that he got sent to the ER. They made him sign the piece of paper that said that his sickness was personal and not work related, as they did to almost everybody, pretty much everybody who got sick there or injured from all the conditions there. Anyway, that guy that I was talking about, the Marine guy, he accused me of it's kind of funny now that I'm talking about it. I mean, but it was horrible drama when it happened. It was, okay, look, our life is a living hell there. Can we at least go to our rooms in peace? No, he accused me of opening up his bag of M&Ms Meanwhile, I was on a diet. But anyway, like, he accused me of opening up his bag of M&Ms. No, I didn't. Here's $5 so you can go get some more M&Ms. No, he couldn't leave it at that, okay? He ended up, like, yelling at me, like, if you're not out of this room, all of your shit out of this room in 1 minute, I will take your stuff and throw it out into the hallway. And he did. I'm trying to go back to sleep. I'm like, dude, I did not take your M&Ms. I'm trying to go to sleep, dude. And he's like getting up in my face, like, if your stuff is not out in the hall in 1 minute, I will take it out and throw it out there for you. And he did. Get out of my room while I'm trying to sleep. And like, I told the HR lady, what did they do? They kicked me out of that room, not him. Can you imagine that? And then that's where I ended up going to this little trailer type thing where you see these guys, their hands. They had me in a different room where the bathroom was at before I got moved to this area where you're seeing these people here. And yeah, maybe I should make that distinction. Okay, so this little portable thing, you can see the door way back here. That's the bathroom area. So we actually did have a bathroom and a shower, which most of the people there didn't. A lot of them didn't. So like before I got moved here, I was in this area where you see the mold in the bathrooms and stuff. This was like more of a public, like they had a different like house that had like these very small rooms, a couple beds, you know, bunk beds inside of them. And then this was like a shared, like the men's shower. Actually, like later on, like about half the workers there had their own showers. And then the other half had these, you know, horrible conditions and stuff. So yeah, that's, oh yeah, once again, one of the workers there. But yeah, anyway, so I think, okay, so I'm going to add some more to this video if I can think of more that I have to say. I think so far I've talked about everything, or pretty much everything. Oh, and also, yeah, let's talk about those guys pushing the metal freezer carts. Different people, not the one guy who was in the freezer, the Puerto Rican guy, but the other Puerto Rican kids who are running past me, you know, with these big metal freezer racks, okay? 2 people, including myself, had gotten slammed in the back really, really hard by these kids. I mean, these workers, they're making you hustle, man. Move, 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 vamonos, vamonos. You know, and they're, you know, pushing these big, heavy metal freezer carts really fast down a very, you know, rather narrow corridor area where I was working. My back was turned to them while I'm doing my basket washing, okay? And this kid, this fucking, sorry, F-word, idiot, had slammed into me from behind with this metal freezer cart. I turned around, I yelled at him, "You idiot, watch where you're going!" And I complained to Rob, the plant manager. "Can you go talk to this kid?" I don't think they did anything about it. I don't know if anyone ever talked to him about it, but yeah, me and then this other guy that I became friends with, Robert Snyder, who was there, he was pretty cool. Yeah, he got slammed in the back a different day at a different time at some other time in the season, you know, a couple weeks later or whatever. He got slammed hard where like the thing had like toppled, the cart had toppled over onto him and messed up his back. Okay, once again, the HR lady did nothing. She had a condescending attitude, "Get back to work, you're fine." They did nothing, no workers' compensation, no nurse, once again, who could be there on the plant, which I think the other seafood processing plants, to my knowledge, do have a nurse that lives there on the plant with you. Oh, which once again is another thing that we need to talk about. Okay, Peter Pan in particular, I know other seafood processing plants are different. They will let you leave the campus. They'll let you leave the property, like when you're working. Like you're allowed to take off, you're allowed to go to the store, you're allowed to go grocery shopping, get some food, get what you need to do, take care of yourself during the other 8 hours a day that you're not working. Okay, you work for 16 hours a day, you're off for 8 hours, you sleep for a few hours, take care of yourself, go hit up the store, get some ibuprofen, get what you need. Peter Pan Seafoods didn't let us do that. If you stepped a foot outside of that gated area, you would be fired on site immediately. They made this very clear, and I made a joke to it. I think that's before when I mentioned that plant manager. I went off on a whole tangent, Dave, when I was talking to him earlier, because I went over the respect as the basket washer and all that, and I made a joke to him that time that I was talking to him. I was given the honor of getting to talk to the manager or whatever. I told him, I kind of jokingly said that this is like Auschwitz, and he laughed and he said, "No, it's more like prison labor," and laughed. Yeah, I'm making billions of dollars off your prison labor. Yeah, I mean, I made like a few thousand. I made about, I think, $6 was it $6,000 total I think I made during that month? Which, I mean, I couldn't complain about that. I really, really needed the money, which is why I got this job in the first place. I was told from the get-go that it would be a hard job. They don't make any bones about that, but they don't tell you that it's this bad. That's the thing. They don't tell you just how bad this place is. That's the little check-in area where you got to get your rain gear from this little area right here. Little Puerto Rican ladies. You got to tell them, por favor. But yeah, like they don't tell you just how bad it is working there. Yes, they tell you you'll be on your feet for 16 hours a day. Yes, they'll say that it's rather cold, but not as cold. I mean, like, it's cold enough to see your breath, put it that way. The freezer area, if you work in freezers, good luck. You're talking sub-zero, baby. And yeah, I mean, like, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, like, so I'm not sure. I don't know if the main freezer area was, I know the main freezer area had to have been sub-zero, well below zero, well, I think that was like -15 or something like that. I think it was like the deep freezer where, you know, like the fish go through that area for like an hour and they're frozen solid. That area is -70. I think the main freezer area, that guy who was bleeding from the nose and the eyes and stuff from, that area that he's in is like -15, I think was the exact number, something like that I was told. But anyway, yeah, that was like -15. Yeah, so don't think that he was walking into -70 himself. No, but he was exposed to it. It's like blowing out of that area into the -15 area that he was in. Okay, so I know a lot of the stuff that I'm saying is a little bit scattered. I hope that you're following all this. I'm just kind of ranting off just stream of consciousness, you know. I'm not really scripting any of this. I'm just telling you from the heart exactly what happened and how it is. So if you are a prospective employee, just take all this into consideration, know what you are getting yourself into. And here's another thing. Okay, now the guy who had fallen through this hole here, right? I told you about him earlier. He fell through the hole. Now, he had called up OSHA, when this happened, you know, and he wanted to complain. It's called a whistleblower report. You can go on OSHA whatever the website is. I forget what exactly it is. And I've looked all this up. I mean, I've talked to a lawyer myself. I myself was going to press charges on my own behalf, just for negligence to workers, being exposed to the mold, you know, that sort of thing. I figured surely, I mean, I'm not an expert in the law necessarily, but it's like, surely we've got a case, right? I mean, like, you could probably sue the hell out of these guys, right? I mean, that's, even the guy in the video that I showed you earlier in the bathroom, it said something like that, like, yeah, class action lawsuit the hell out of him. Nothing ever came of it, and I'll tell you why. Because what it turns out, and do pay attention to this if you yourself were a worker who was injured, if you have a doctor's note, that's the big deciding factor in any court situation. Their deciding factor on is if you have a case or not with them to sue the company that you've worked for is if you have a doctor's note. If the doctor says that you were injured, and because the court is going to go off of anything that a doctor says, what the doctor says is going to be law here, okay? So if the doctor wrote a note, yeah, you were seriously injured as a result of your employer's negligence, like in the case, in the case here, then yeah, you've probably got a slam dunk, you know, lawsuit against your employer. You could probably sue the hell out of them. But it's all about what a doctor says. Okay, I think he actually got a doctor's note. He was this black dude, yeah, I think, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but yeah, I mean, like, he got a doctor's note. I don't think he got any money out of it. I don't know the exact circumstance, but I mean, I did text him and I was like, you know, what happened? He's, oh, OSHA's putting it off, this and that, and I don't know. I think he pretty much got the runaround is my understanding of it, but I hope, I mean, I didn't text him recently, but I mean, I hope he got a lot of money, because Lord knows, I mean, wouldn't she want that? I mean, come on, this is crazy. Anyway, yeah, so this was Dillingham. Let me see. So I'm trying to remember, like, what else do I need to talk about here? Okay, so anyway, yeah, like, I was going to sue the company. That's what I initially wanted to do. And I tried to take my phone, which they're very strict, very, very strict, that you cannot have any kind of phone equipment inside the plant. And now we know why, because the inside of the plant is a nightmare that I think OSHA, if they're not in the company's pockets, would have a field day. citing one violation after another, but they clearly don't want anyone filming inside the plant, and now I know why. And it's because I myself tried to film inside the plant. I tried to sneak my phone in there. Let me tell you something. I walked through the plant, not even like as inconspicuously as I could, but like trying not to be obvious about it, like try to like, hold my phone down to my side or something while I'm walking through the plant and my phone is recording, just, try to really sort of like hide it as best as I can, just, walk through real fast and then just, quickly, walk over to where nobody would see me, save the video real quick and get back to work. Pronto, just, 2 minutes, just go. So I've got that footage, so you can show that to a lawyer. You could show that, put it on YouTube so people can see what I'm talking about. Like, oh my God, this is crazy. There's fish that are like laying on the ground, thawing for hours. They weren't even frozen to begin with. Some of them were, but some of them, even like the fresh ones, sitting there for hours. And then like the supervisors, the leads, will take them off the floor and put them back on the line for people to eat, for you people, maybe the ammonia washes it. I don't know. But like, yeah, that's crazy. All sorts of health code violations, workplace violations, safety violations. I found out for a fact that this is the case, that, places like Peter Pan Seafoods, Dillingham, Alaska, are prime locations. I mean, like, where, yeah, like OSHA would have a field day. That's why you're not allowed to record inside the plant. This reminds me of Food Inc. Have you ever seen that movie, Food Inc.? It was like a documentary about like the American, meat processing plants and whatnot, stuff like that. Something along those lines. Yeah, like where they talk about the mistreatment of the workers, the bad working conditions. I think it was Food Inc., the movie. But yeah, anyway, it wasn't Super Size Me. Yeah, but yeah, like where that's kind of what this situation reminds me of, the seafood processors. So what I'm saying, like if you've ever seen that movie, then you know what I'm talking about, the horrible, inhumane treatment of workers at these meat processing plants. That's kind of like what this was in a way. Granted, you're making around $2,000 a week, working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, treated like crap, very, very hard work. It's around $2,000 a week. So, like if you stick around for a few weeks, and then your hours do go down after a little while. So I was there for about a month. And so within that time period, I think I made around $6,000 total, within that month. So yeah, so I mean, it's hard work. Now I forgot what I was originally talking about. You're gonna have to bear with me. Like some of this, I know it's really scattered, but yeah. Oh yeah. So I was talking, like I know for a fact that these health code violations are, for real. Like OSHA really would have a field day, because this guy Dave, the general manager of the entire plant, I forget what I was up there in his office talking to him about. Oh yeah, because he called me out for filming inside the plant. I told him that my mom wanted to see where I was working. That's what I told him. That was my story. And he said, no, well, you're not allowed to have that video, and you need to leave your phone up here in my office and get it back at the end of the day, because I can't have you filming in my office, because, as he said, the FDA, I think it was the FDA, he said, there's all these violations and stuff, and we don't want anyone seeing that. And so I know for a fact that that's the case. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, boom, baby. But it's like I just kind of put off putting this video. It's like I was sort of, we all know we've been through a lot over the past 6 months or so. I ended up moving and all this stuff happened, and this kind of got put on the back burner. So yeah, like I said, this all took place in around I think it was like late June to mid-July, something like that, roughly around that time period of 2022, Dillingham, Alaska. Look, if you yourself were a seafood processor, and you want to, look, I've heard that you would get blacklisted from the industry, and that's another thing. If you publicly file an OSHA whistleblowers claim, your name is on that claim. I mean, your name is on there. And you would be permanently blacklisted from the seafood processing industry, I guess forever. you know? So like, but if you really feel about the injustice and you really feel like your bridges is burned with them anyway, go ahead and do it. Call the Department of Labor. Listen to me. The Department of Labor, the Alaska Department of Labor. This is what my lawyer had told me when I had talked to her about, you know, possibly pressing charges. She said, you need to call up the Department of Labor and OSHA, file a whistleblower complaint on their website, and same thing for the Department of Labor. Talk to them, talk about what you need to do. Also, this is something that I thought about after the fact. Like, I would have done this beforehand had I known that conditions would be this bad. But what about like the like hidden camera glasses? You can find them on like eBay and stuff. They have like these glasses that you can buy that has like a camera built into them. What if, like, if I ever were to go back, which I won't, like, I would probably think about doing something like this. Maybe if you're about to work for them, you know, or thinking about it, somebody, go in there just to do this, you know, like film the inside of it just so you could publish, you know, on the internet, all over YouTube. Boom, like they can't take it down, you know. It's like all these FDA violations. Like, look at this crap, you know, people are getting injured. Yes, people get sick here. This is crazy. Look at all the fish that people are standing in, the fish guts, and yeah, like, yeah, you can see your own breath getting sick, you know, 16 hours a day. I didn't get that sick. I mean, I was sick for like a day or two, but that was about it. Like, most of the people there were, you know, bad. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah. Then again, like, I never get sick. I'm the kind of guy, like, I never get sick, you know? It's like, I felt a little under the weather for a day or two, but it takes so much for me to get there. That's me personally. I have a immune system like a tank, you know? So, like, if I feel under the weather, you know it's serious. Other people are going to the ER, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like I said, the swelling in the hands and stuff. Look, I think this video is about long enough. You know what you're getting yourself into. Work for them, don't work for them, whatever the reason that you have for watching this video. I hope that I've enlightened you a little bit, for what it's worth. Look, at the end of the day, I just think that people need to know the truth. They never tell you that the job will be easy. When you talk to the HR lady about, you know, working for them, they never tell you the job's going to be easy, but they don't tell you how bad it actually is. Okay, so yeah, like, I want people to know, look, you're probably going to get injured. You're probably going to get sick. You might have to go to the ER. It's going to be on your dime, probably. You know, they're going to try to get you to say it was a personal injury. Oh, and let me tell you something else. If you can't finish your work assignment, which I did, so I didn't have to do this, but a lot of the other people, if you got sick or injured, or if you just couldn't take it anymore, you had to go home and you didn't finish the entire salmon season, which ended around, like I said, like late July or whatever it was. If you didn't stay until the very end, until they were ready to let you go, you had to pay for your own plane ticket going back. They pay for your plane ticket going over there, and then they paid my plane ticket going back because I did stay the entire time. I'm fucking, you know, sorry, F word, trooper, you know. But yeah, a lot of other people, you know, yeah, they couldn't take it, they got sick, whatever. Yeah, you have to, out of your own hard-earned dollar that you just worked so hard to earn, now you have to spend it just to go back home. Okay, after a premature, you know, work time. So anyway, yeah, you just got to know all the facts about working there. So I hope that you've learned a lot. This video has been, I think, long enough. I think I've said pretty much everything I have to say. I'll add to this video, or make a part 2 or something. I don't know, like, if I think of anything else, but I think I've said all that I have to say. So yeah, man, I hope you get justice, brother, for that crazy crap falling through that hole there. And I hope something good comes out of this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Share it if you like. Share it with other people so that other people know the reality of working with Peter Pan Seafoods. Okay, so anyway, thank you so much. Peace out. Booyah. Okay, psych, I thought I said everything that I had to say. Never mind. I listened through everything again, made sure that I said everything that I had to say. I know a lot of what I said was kind of scattered. I don't exactly have bullet points, you know, organized what I want to talk about. I'm just sort of talking off the top of my head here about everything that's happened. So yeah, you got to forgive me on that. Just sort of roll with the punches. Okay. Anyway, I listened back and, yeah, I was talking about the break area earlier and, you know, I was describing the, you know, inhumane conditions there. It's freezing cold. There's like a tarp roof that's leaking over your head. This company is so damn cheap that they can't, just have the heart, to give us an indoor heated break area when we're working in Alaska. It's freezing out here, and you're making us go on break outside. Lord knows we're in this 20-degree freezing weather inside the plant. And now we're going outside on our so-called break where it's colder. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. No. It's worse than that. Okay, the cups, I forgot to talk about that among other things. Okay, look, the cups that, you'd get your little, black coffee, which tasted like dirt, by the way, very, very bad coffee. The hot chocolate, whatever you wanted out there. The cafeteria workers that I, sort of complained to about this at first, I thought it was their negligence. I was like, why is there grit inside of these cups? These cups are still dirty, you guys. Like, it's like you can still see the coffee inside of it from the last several people who drank out of that cup. Okay, they're not clean cups. I'm like, did you guys clean these? They're like, sorry, mi amigo, the Puerto Rican. And and Lord knows, bless those cafeteria people, because you could see it in their eyes and in their energy. They were really sincere about, el trabajo, and like they really want to cook the good food for the workers. Like they really seem to care. They're just working with what they've got, which wasn't really much. And they apologized, I'm sorry, mi amigo, the dishwashers are so cheap, and I believed them, Lord knows. They said that it's so cheap that it doesn't really wash the cups very much. It gets them wet. It doesn't really wash anything. So I would have to, they had like the hot water jug thing for like tea. If you're going to get tea, get your hot water. So I'd have to like rinse the cup out in the hot water, the utensils, whatever you want to do. I'm just saying that this is the way that you're going to be treated. Now, not only that, this is even worse. Okay. You work 16-hour shifts. Okay. You get 2 paid 20-minute breaks during that 16 hours and 1 unpaid 30-minute break. 30 minutes. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, listen to me. It takes you at least 5 minutes or so to get out of your rain gear. Just don't forget that this is a very wet plant, okay? You're wearing rain gear, you're covered in fish guts. These kids, they try to like, hose themselves off in their rain gear. Wash the guts off them. It takes you a few minutes just to get out of your rain gear, take the hairnets off, whatever else you've got on you, it takes a second just to get out of it. And then you have to walk outside, and it takes a couple minutes to walk outside to this outside break area, where they would feed you during break. It was like greasy bologna and ham sandwiches. It's literally like prison food. It's like this greasy like ham sandwiches and stuff that they would serve up, and like that was the food that we ate during our break. It was like that and like cookies and cakes and stuff. Yeah, good job, you idiots, feeding your employees sugar-ridden foods when they're outside in the freezing cold. That's not exactly good on their immune systems, is it? And then they're, eating it and getting sick. And maybe just the inside of the plant alone was enough to get everyone sick, which, they did. But yeah, like good idea, feeding them sugar on top of that. Yeah, that's not getting them more sick. Feed them oranges. That helps your vitamin C, anything vitamin C. Anyway, yeah, no, this company is so cheap that they couldn't even get a decent dishwasher. They're making billions every single season. And I think out of the few hundred employees that they had, would have added up to, however many that. And then it's like, vamonos, let's go, C shift, let's go. And then you got to get back in the plant, and it takes 5 more minutes to put on your rain gear. And then it's like, you got that, and then you got your 30-minute break, which, good luck eating your food during that time. Once again, you're still going to have, Robert or whoever they have, if you were to ever work for them, or in the past, if you remember, the plant manager, the security guy's always yelling at you, vamonos, let's go. They said vamonos to us because, like I said, the Puerto Rican workers, they said they had like Serbians in the past and all these other different nationalities. This year was Puerto Rico, 2022. Anyway, that was one thing that I wanted to talk about. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about was, okay, the guy who had fallen through that hole, like I talked about before, cut open his leg or whatever, got put on the stretcher. Okay, hopefully you remember that story. Okay, so he, I forgot to mention this. you know, he was going to press charges, and then we learned that anything that counts in court, remember this, if you end up working for a seafood processing plant, if you get injured, if you get sent to the ER, you very well might. I mean, I had, you know, if you work in slime line, you know, you work those 16 hours, that's repetitive motion, baby. You get carpal tunnel. I was in slime line for a few days, like 3 or 4, maybe 5 days, if that. I'd gotten carpal tunnel within a couple days of doing that. And then I went to the basket washing with carpal tunnel, doing that hard, you know, each basket weighs like 5-10 pounds a piece, and you're moving them fast. I mean, you know, 10 pounds, you know, whatever. And yeah, with carpal tunnel and sprains that never really went away till the end of the season. Anyway, so yeah, you're getting these like injuries and stuff. Now listen to me. This is something that I learned. If you want to press charges, if you want to do anything, I was going to press charges myself, remember? Okay, it's all dependent on what a doctor says. Okay, now, I think I already talked about this, didn't I? Did I? Anyway, I'm just going to try to finish the story. It's all about what a doctor says. If a doctor makes a note that says, yeah, you got injured or sick or whatever, as a direct result of your workplace negligence from your employer, then you are due for a lawsuit, or you could at least have, you know, a case. If you don't have a doctor's note, I mean, forget it. I mean, and that's why I couldn't do anything. I mean, I was going to literally sue this company just for being such crap. But I couldn't. I mean, I don't have a doctor's note. That's why, you know, the guy who fell through this hole had a doctor's note. And I don't think anything ever came of it. I don't think so. And I hope that it did. It's just crazy to think about, man. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. And I hope this makes sense to you. Just had to add that little 2 cents there. Anyway, listen on, brother.